Michelle Hunt. So good to see you.
Jackie Kambata.
Well, I'm just going to start with a real easy one, and that is, what in the world attracted you to the Magnolia Moonshot?
Of the way you commit to making the world better. And so who wouldn't want to be a part of that? And, you started talking about it, and you talked about it for about a year, Roberta.
No way.
Yes, you did. It was about a year. And I was like, is she torturing me? Is she torturing me or what? Because, I absolutely, I was waiting and holding my breath, and I didn't want to be aggressive because I can be pretty assertive.
It was all well intentioned. It wasn't evil.
I was thrilled when you invited you guys.
No way.
I was thrilled. So no, that's what attracted me. Beyond that, from the inside of me is, about 10 years ago, I made the decision. Every year at New Year's, I take myself through a self-visioning.
It was all well intentioned. It wasn't evil. Just
where do I want to go, and am I on course? And so about 10 years ago, there was a very deliberate and intentional course correction. I tended to work, I was driven always by equal rights for everyone, but I began to really hone in the phenomenal capability that women had and what we could bring to the world if we were unleashed, or we unleashed ourselves to participate more. And I passionately wanted to see more women at the decision-making table, hear more women's voices. I've been the first woman and the first Black in almost in every room I'm in, let alone every job. So there's real value there, and I've seen the value when women join. I've seen the ethos change.
You brought up the love word, Michelle. You said love. Say a little bit about that in terms of women's leadership.
Well, it's interesting. I was in a Zoom yesterday, and I was talking with some people at a consulting firm, and the president is a woman. She's a brand new, just newly appointed woman. And she started talking about love in this global consulting firm.
You brought up the love word, Michelle. You said love. So say a little bit more about that in terms of women's leadership.
Talk about the basic human nature and longing to be loved. And it's beyond romantic love, and it's beyond familial love. It is the basic, fundamental, deep love. And so, love for me is the next organizing principle for the evolved world. Imagine if anything you did, you started with the core value of love, and then you designed whatever you're doing, your business, your trip, your whatever, with that in mind. So I think the power of love, if we all started with that and used that as our navigator, none of this stuff would be happening. The environment, the racial unrest, the global conflict. It's all about love.
It is all about love. That's what the world needs more of. So, years apart, as you know. So you dream big and you get other people to dream. You have this, you're an author, you've written these Dream Makers books about the research that you do and finding. I'm curious about how it's all about love. That's what the world needs more of. So, you're speaking to my heart, as you know. So you dream big and you get other people to dream big. And you have this, you're an author, you've written these Dream Makers books about the research that you do and finding these dream makers. And I'm curious about how you identify them and how you harness those dreams into a reality. in terms of your coaching?
Another leader that went through the same thing. But I don't get them to do anything. They're usually, by the time I'm there, they want to do something. And so I bring my heart and soul and spirit and a process that helps them mobilize and come to shared agreement about where they want to go, and importantly, how they want to behave on that journey to towards their
How they show up in the world.
how they show up, how they treat each other, how they treat, if it's a business, their customers, how they treat the environment, how they treat their communities. So, yeah, I think I provoke. I'm an agitator because I absolutely believe that people don't dare to dream big enough, and we do inside. We dream of.
So I know you coach a lot of CEO types, corporate types that are doing good in the world. You're very busy. And yet you're somebody of the many women that I know who I think finds the balance better than most. You do your work, but you also manage to do the self-care part of our lives. And I'm wondering if you can say a little bit about how you balance, or how you came to that, to know, enough work. I need to take care of me so that I can do more work.
Allows them to liberate their, laughter, their joy, their music, So I have fun in the work. And when I decided to launch my business in 1990, actually the beginning of 96, American AOL was asking me to consider coming in and be their vice president for people after I finished with the Clinton administration. And I looked and I said, I don't want to do another corporation inside. What feeds my soul? I wanted to be liberated. And when I did the personal vision, core value, love, family, and freedom were the three things. And freedom popped in 1996. And so that means I needed to design my life so I could have all three of those. But the other thing is, on a deep level, I've been meditating since I was I always say 28, but since I was 26. And I actually don't understand how people can navigate life without meditating. What it has brought to me is a deep connection to a greater source. And that greater source doesn't just kind of nudge me.
So we've talked so many times about the three divides, about, the climate justice, racial inequity, racial justice, women's rights, voting. Of all of these that are packed into your heart and head right now, what's really at the core at this moment?
George Floyd.
They're all related, of course. We know that.
Okay, and then I'm on the board with you on One Earth. I know it's been at points. That's shined bright. Racial unrest and inequities and racial justice shines bright. Women equality and women and the liberation of women to contribute to the world. And so I would say in the last, working with several clients recently, I can't distinguish them because
because they are all related.
They're not just related. I'm going to go back to this love thing. At the core of this, if we loved and respected one another, if love and respect guided us, we wouldn't be destroying the planet and stupid enough to destroy our own home. We wouldn't be, we would let all the voices, we would respect and love me. I want to hear your voice, whoever you are.
Because they are all related.
From Brazil, if you're Black, I respect, that you have something unique to offer. And so I can't, the more and more and more I get down this road, they are interdependent. You can push one lever and it's going to have a ripple effect on the others. Example of that is David Cooper Ryder and I and Ron Fry helped with the Cleveland Rising. It's a whole community, multi-stakeholder. They had the courage to come together and launch.
Hey, Michele, you just froze.
Am I frozen now?
No, now you're not, but we should go back to. Given the racial inequity that is tearing at the heart of America right now, you are always a beacon of hope. So let's just leave on a hopeful note about what makes you hopeful.
We're took to the streets in cities all over the world, but even in the United States, you see that. And it's not just young people, because then the young people are bringing along their parents and their grandparents. But when you get people saying this is not right and no longer sitting on the sidelines and saying enough is enough, we're going to speak up, we're going to participate, we're going to collectively make something happen. Yes, it's going to be hard. And yes, there's going to be, there's some people doing violence. Not nearly as many that are peacefully protesting, but yeah, this has never happened. I'm 70 years old. This has never happened in my lifetime, to see all the rainbow colors standing up for justice and standing up for racial justice.
And
America has never stood up for me before.
Right. But it's the young people that are hope. I marched the strike last year with young people, and I just know, use their power, that the world can be the kind of place that leaves no one behind.
Absolutely, and they get it naturally. So it's not like they...
Right. But it's the young people that are giving me such hope. I marched with the climate strike last year with young people, and I just know that if they use their power, that the world can be the kind of place that leaves no one behind.
Absolutely, and they get it naturally. So it's not like they had to go study or read White Fragility or anything. They get it naturally. It's in their DNA. They're the endpoint of evolution. So they're coming and they're how can you guys dice that all up? We don't get it. So I mean, what's more hopeful than the future? Young people. I am very hopeful. That's a true gift. The magnolias to me are a gift to the human spirit.